we go.
Down to about half HP backline here. Admo Bulldog getting focused. B1 sending.
First blood.
Oh, what a crit!
For the throne! There's no glyph! They power!
F1 gonna try to jump to the right side. You won't make it there, but yeah.
Do it! The Kings of the Dark Lion win!
We've had 7 different national qualifiers, 2 brilliant days of group stages, 2 days prior to this of our finals. It's now the big finals day. Welcome to the Singtel PvP Esports Championship 2018 live from Singapore. And it is time to crown our big champions. We have a $300,000 prize pool to share between the winners and the runners-up and so on of our Arena of Valor and Dota 2 tournaments. We've been running both of them, and today is the day we get to decide who are the best. These national qualifiers brought us brilliant teams into group stages. Teams were invited to be here as well, and we've seen some upsets, particularly in Arena of Valor, and that is where we are going to start things today. So Arena of Valor, 2 matches still to come. First is our lower bracket final, our other semi-final if you like. In this, the only remaining invited team still standing, and a team who came second in groups and have been fighting their way through the tournament, knocking teams out ever since. Later on today, our grand final and then our Dota 2 grand final will come after that. But to find out who is going to meet Arena X in the Arena of Valor grand final, let's meet the 2 teams, hoping it's them. And first up, our Monster Sheild. The only invited team still standing. Please welcome with their hopes on the grand final, they are Monster Sheild. Monster Sheild joining us from Taiwan, hoping to be in this grand final, but to do it as a best of 3 ahead of them, and they have to knock out this team who've impressed so many through the groups, and they're called Resurgence. The champions of the Malaysian national qualifiers, with their hopes of the grand final, they are Resurgence. Congratulations on making it to our lower bracket final to these 2 teams. One of them will meet Alpha X in our grand final. So best of 3 time. We'll go over to our analyst desk and we'll bring you some Arena of Valor live here from Singapore.
Thanks, man, and welcome back at the desk. It is final day, Arena of Valor Grand Final, even if we start, obviously, with a lower bracket final. My name is Rene Butler, and Arena of Valor might feature DC heroes, but I got the villains, the super villains of everything. Obviously, I got Opal, Sujay, and Apis with me again today to bring you guys everything you need to know about Arena of Valor and competitive gaming.
I don't think we're that bad at guys. Like, let's be honest. I think we're pretty nice
I thought
sometimes.
people think villains are the more cool people, so I went with that. No?
Well, sometimes it's not cool to be cool, Renee.
Oh,
I don't want to be a villain.
Actually,
okay.
yeah,
Didn't
that
know
makes
that.
sense.
It is Monster Sheild versus Resurgence, the first match they will see, a best of 3. Obviously, Resurgence still among that storyline of, hey, you're out, hey, you're back in again, and oops, you got a chance for the grand final.
Hey, whatever works, pretty much like it is. You replay the matches. I guess technically they did play a best of 3 at some point, and I guess Resurgence, in theory, got that victory.
Well, regardless, the storyline is Resurgence is literally resurging with a lot of power. We saw them come back and beat Tamago in a epic match yesterday. And I'm excited to see how they're going to perform against Monster Sheild. Can Monster Sheild fight back?
Yeah, they looked a little bit shaky, you know, after the pretty dominating performance from Alpha X. Monster Sheild really need to back themselves up a little bit here. So I'm really looking forward to see what they have in store.
Yeah, Monster Sheild we saw a couple different times where they were pulling out different picks here and there, but I know we'll be talking about that a little later.
Yeah, we do, because before we dive into the matches of today, let's have a quick look about what all the excitement were yesterday.
Live from Singapore, live from the Suntec Exhibition and Conference Center. Welcome to the Singtel PvP Esports Championship 2018.
And the dive into his game. Jakey gonna barely run away. And oh my goodness, the Cyclone, but he's surrounded. Did he get anybody? I think he got one. There you go. Finally. But Wyvern gonna fall as well. That's gonna be the high ground tower in bot lane. And they might just go and try to close the game out. Jack trying to do something, not gonna be able to do it. Jakey coming in the last thing, but it looks like they're just going one at a time. It is not gonna be enough to matter. And man, oh man, Tamago dominating this game, running through Legend of Kid.
Crazy 11-minute
They want us to go to college just so we can be stuck. Go to school to make a living, or teach yourself to make a fortune. Common sense, welcome to the apocalypse. Bitch, I'm one of the horsemen. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last
We'll be able to try to push him back, but
Look at the amount of them, but he do get a kill. Just not one, still alive.
super minions there.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah, tries to fall back. He's trying to push him away, but the claw is slowly getting taken down. And I do believe that is it. It's going to be a 2-0.
Would you say something's missing? If you could give all your riches just to say the word, would you risk it? These politicians so old, can't tell if the dead where they living. Better ask Kathy Griffin. You know I like to raise stakes. We was always taught to hit the gas, we ain't even know they made breaks. We control our own fate. Watch the dreams take shape. Try to keep us out, we gon' freak out, turn this bitch to water cake. I don't need your mandate, don't need you to elevate. I'm about to detonate, cause I'm
on the Necro. They haven't committed too much because of that flat cannon, but Abed on the backside is killing him. He misses the hook shot. Nice dodge by Abed. MP just chasing heroes down in his gunship. DJ eating a lot of damage, but not as much as this Venge, and now they do find him again. Chain Frost will fly. Will it keep bouncing? No. Reaper Sight's not going to do very much versus Hood, and now frozen in place is the entire team. Good game played.
Light Strike Array. PSG LGD just getting absolutely walked over by Secret, not just in this game, but this series as a whole. As we said, in terms of sort of a bad game, it's been a long time since we saw LGD had such a bad one in game one. But in terms of a bad series, it's been a long, long time. A Secret, they're making this look like a walk in the park. GG is called.
A lot of excitement yesterday. In all those matches we saw, obviously there was Dota 2 on it as well. There'll be a grand final later today. But we'll stick with Arena of Valor for now, which means we're not really stuck with the match, because I don't want to say that. We got Monster Sheild and Resurgence first to find out who actually faces Alpha X, a team that did not give away a single series so far coming into this. But Monster Sheild, they showed potential early on. Obviously, they're now in the lower bracket, but they had that chance to beat one of the favorites. What about now?
Well, you know, they changed up a little bit of the playstyle we saw yesterday, and even then it didn't work out for them. We were talking about the butterfly pick, I know in particular. That was quite a shock for us. But for Monster Sheild, we talked about there were a lot of opportunities where they were just so close to winning those fights. That whole series could have gone the other way, but they were always a second or two behind.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, if they want to come back into a grand final, now you got to go against Resurgence that has been doing very well here throughout the playoff bracket. So there is an opportunity here for Resurgence to take this.
Yeah, the word is shaky. I mean, Daofeng is clearly the best player in the team. His side lane on Arduin, also his butterfly was actually pretty impressive for an off-meta composition that they ran. And YR and Daofeng are the key on the team, I feel. And then Sherry, she needs to make sure her positioning is a lot better, because she overextends, gets caught out, and gets focused by the enemy team. So that's going to be a big, player that I'll be watching for in the competition, because Resurgence, they like to pull out the punches and punish you when you make a mistake like that.
Monster Sheild will be actually on their toes, I guess, to win this match, to make sure that they make it into the grand final of the PvP Esports Championship 2018. So it's time that we'll learn a bit more about the team.
大家好，我是黄英龙，在游戏名称的话是 YR， 然后我们代表队伍是 Monster Sheild。这个比赛在我们得知的时候，到新加坡，我们发觉就是说，在之前泰国跟越南办的比赛，还有我们台湾办的比赛，是蛮大的。但是在新加坡第一次看到可以办到这么盛大的一个赛事，所以对我们来说，我们觉得这个意义是比较特别的。因为其实在去年到今年，那慢慢的一些国家都有办一些比赛，但是在这边可以发觉到，我们一来我们就很惊讶，因为看到各位每个 team 都是国际来的，有遇到这个美国的，也有遇到我们当地的Tamago 的队伍。如果是我个人的话，我觉得这个比赛是我想要拿到的，所以对我说这个意义是会让我突然有一股动力，而且蛮热血的。新马非代表队Tamago。在我们来新加坡之后呢，我们的练习都是跟他们。那我觉得说，这一队的话，我们是有胜算的，所以觉得说，在这次比赛的话，我们希望可以赢过他们。在进来之后，我们练习的时间其实还蛮长的，我们一整天都在饭店里面练习。然后，对于这次的版本，因为在更新的速度是蛮快的，所以说对于整个 ban pick 还有其他队伍的一个选择的走向，我们都有去研究，所以在这样的准备下，全部的功课都是有做到的。这次比赛的奖金非常的多，所以这是我们最大的一个动力。AOV 在这个上市，就是它出了游戏的时候已经有2年了，那这2年的期间内是一直在成长，而且成长的速度非常的快，所以我对于它在东南亚的发展呢，会是非常惊人的，尤其是在明年跟后年这2年之间会倍速成长，所以我觉得这一个游戏呢，也是非常适合现代的人。现在的人只要有手机，然后跟着朋友们一起玩，那甚至于电竞的推广，所以大家会更想要参加比赛，想要拿到更好的成绩。
Big prize pool on the line. We heard that. That's their bit motivation. That's fine. $100,000. That will motivate me to go play as well. Not really that crazy, right? But we saw YR, and we know that yesterday, at least, there was a bit of mispositioning here and there. It was not really the continuous star that we expected him on the desk when we talked about the game, but someone else stepped up for that. So if they now bring everyone in on their peak performance, is that enough to even be champion here?
Yeah, the interesting is YR played Superman, and he was actually pretty solid with his engages, but the issue was the lack of synergy. He was engaging as Superman kind of 1 into 4 a few times, so I feel like Daofeng and YR, they need to be on the same page, and if they do engage together, I think Monster Sheild has a much higher chance of being successful as a team because their communication, everything just looked really, really shaky.
Oh, we've got a draft starting right about now, and straight off the bat, Tulin ban Jinnar as well as Chalkner.
Yeah, the Tulin ban actually I'm kind of interested to see because we saw Tulin actually pop up a little bit more, especially yesterday during our playoffs. The mobility of having that mage, especially against the dive compositions, makes it really hard to get on top of him, and if he's able to kite on back, then you can output a lot of damage, so I guess Resurgence just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, that's very interesting that they're focusing the mid laners and leaving a lot of power picks open in the side lane, and Zenio will be banned. He's such an important hero for every team that he has drafted on. And I could see potentially a Violet or Lindis being banned away here because we know Z's plays an amazing Lindis, and they may want to deny it from him.
But we saw this a lot yesterday where the Lindis and the Violet would actually be left open during the picks, and we actually saw a couple times where now we see a lot of focus toward the mages in mid lane. So there's still a lot on the table here as the Omen 2 is going to be banned out.
Yeah, Lindis is still open.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lindis first pick coming up from Resurgence. Amazing potential. Z's on the Lindis has performed extremely well.
Real quick, so they need to take Violet here because if they don't, we see Resurgence take Lindis and the Violet and run double marksman, but Valheim is open, so that's a very nice pickup. And I love the Mina pick as well. Let's see if they do take the Violet away and just kind of do that dual marksman that we saw them run.
Throughout the whole tournament, Valheim's performance hasn't been very good thus far because we've seen a lot of Valheim's plays, but Lindis seems to be the one shining at the moment right now in the cup.
Well, we see oftentimes with the Valheims that they're usually isolated or they're targeted early on. So this is going to be interesting to see if this is going to put a target onto Monster Shield's back. But to the other side now, Resurgence picking up the Crash as well as that Liliana we've been seeing a couple times.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe they're going to go ahead and secure like maybe Arjuin. We know Dao Feng loves Arjuin, and that's a hero he plays really well on. If they have Arjuin and Valheim, that could be a really strong side lane pick for them. We also know Marja is there, but Ryoma is open as well. We know Ryoma works really well into Marja.
I'm curious to know what Cher is going to pick right now. Her performance was pretty lacking, I would say, yesterday. On the first day of the main event, she played really well on the Crash, but I'm not really sure what she's going to pick this time around.
Well, it's going to be habits, though, for Sherry, because we saw that a couple times yesterday, even during the remake, where it was identical first blood.
Yeah.
So positioning early on is kind of a concern. For Monster Shield, though, we're seeing a Crixie come out, which hasn't been popping up. It's been here and there a couple times during our playoffs.
Yeah, now we have Crash could go side lane here. He could go support. We know Teamy is still open. Ryoma, yep, going to be picked up here. We know how good LCC's Ryoma is, and that's something that they have to definitely watch out for. And Linky, amazing Flash, or actually amazing Liliana. Any hero he plays, actually, he performs so well on it. So his Liliana play combined with Ryoma stun, it's going to be a really deadly combo. And of course, they're going to take an Arjun away from Dao Feng, which is what I feared from them. So because Arjun can, I mean, Malik and Valheim is picked, but Arjun being played on Resurgent is a much better situation given their combo there.
A decent amount of CC if this Arduin pick does get locked in here for Resurgence, because then you can combo that onto the Valheim or the Crixie if they are caught out. So it's going to be up to Monster Shield to stay as a unit. This is something they have done earlier on into the tournament when they were playing against Flipside. Looked like they were a little misgrouped yesterday, so we'll have to see if they can... Wow! Oh my goodness, Monster Shield!
Wow, they are taking this butterfly serious.
Okay.
So it works though, because if you pick Valheim side lane, you have on range, and then you pick normally an assassin carry like Cricknack, Butterfly could work if they execute it properly. So I'm really looking at the synergy in terms of how they're going to play this, because Crixie, Malik, Mina, really great combo potential from the entire team.
Now the Butterfly again coming out, like, that's gutsy, Monster Shield. We did see it yesterday. It did perform well. It didn't take off, but it wasn't, you know, worthless at times. That's what we're used to when we see Butterflies, especially in competitive. So we'll see whether or not they can maybe replicate that success and get the ball rolling on the Butterfly, because if that Butterfly takes off, then it is going to be a disaster for Resurgence.
Yeah, they do have a good early game, though. You know, Malik is very strong in the early game. Valheim as well. And I feel like they can abuse that early game a little bit, because Resurgence is probably one of the best teams at the early game. So if anything, Monster Shield, if they want a chance of being successful here, they cannot lose early game very hard to Resurgence.
We'll figure out, bring Butterflies back to solo queue action. Well, we'll see Resurgence keeping that going. Yeah, I like that. We talked about that yesterday. Let's get quick predictions. So, Afis, you're allowed to start because there's no Singaporean team right now.
I'm going to go with Resurgence, man. They're pretty much the underdogs, and a bunch of my friends are in the organization, so I'm looking forward to see how they perform. And also, I feel like RS on that crush is definitely going to be a big factor on the counter initiations, allowing Lindis to position herself really well. Z's going to be able to output a lot of damage.
Yeah, although Crash is a little weak, Lindis is strong, Arjun is strong, Ryoma is strong. That, and with Liliana, that's a really solid combo. Resurgence all the way here.
Well, based off the draft, I would say Resurgence, but I think Monster Shield as a team as a whole is pretty strong. Yesterday, I do firmly believe they could have taken that one game off Alpha X, and Alpha X has looked unstoppable minus the one game in group stage. So I think Monster Shield, if they shored up a little bit of the problems, reviewed the VOD from yesterday, I think they can take this.
I will go with Monster Shield, I have to say, just because, well, you said, they showed so much potential in that one match.
Just got to execute.
Yeah, and I think there's enough to maybe come back. Like, they had an evening of restructuring, maybe, talking to each other, having a chilled evening and trying to focus. They come back stronger, they will take that game, and then you will see that.
Yeah, shields up, man. That's the chance.
Shields up!
I think that's the wrong game.
Since when?
I don't know, man.
I saw a lot of shields. I don't know where you looked.
Thane?
Can we just bring him in randomly into the talk? You never know, he could show up one day, right? But it is that best of 3 this time, so it's not best of 1 anymore in the lower bracket, which is great, which means there are multiple times. Do we see more aggressive gameplay due to that?
Yeah, we know Aris is very good on Crash. In the group stage, this guy had crazy good Metamorphosis stuns, and we know LCC, his Ryoma positioning is so key. He likes to go adjacent and basically target the high-value targets like the mage or the carry, and one stun with a Spectral Ire ultimate from Ryoma means that carry's dead, so they have to be very careful.
Monster Shield versus Resurgence. And talking about stuns, let's give it to 2 people that cannot just stun heroes, but also stun a whole audience. It's Rip and Rico.
Thank you very much, Renee. Welcome, everybody. Of course, I'm Rip, joined by the awesome Riku here. It is time to kick things off here. We've got 2 of the craziest teams, Monster Shield, going up here against Resurgence.
Exactly. I just want to point out first that Monster Shield's composition is like classic Season 1. We've got Mina, Val, and Crixie, Malik, Butterfly. Those are the usual ones that you see in competitive when you rank up in either solo queue or whatever.
Right? Yeah, it's so rare. We haven't seen much Crixie here. We've seen her maybe in, I think, 1 or 2 games in like the entire group stage leading up to today. So pretty excited to see the Crixie pick come out, as well as the Valorant, as you mentioned. How do you feel about Monster Shield?
Monster Shield, I feel like they are really banking on this Butterfly, just trying to let it carry the whole squad on towards the late game. But just as the desk mentioned, sometimes Butterfly is a little bit 50-50.
Right.
It either becomes, oh my god, the resets are there, 1v5, it's incredible, or completely useless.
Yeah, and we saw yesterday, I believe the Superman was with the Butterfly, right? So Superman was making some major plays, and Butterfly was trying to clean up, but they were just really close. They couldn't close out the heroes just enough, right? So it was very close for them, but Butterfly was doing some damage. So I'm not surprised to see the Butterfly pick come back here. How do you feel about Resurgence in this set, though?
Resurgence, I felt like that was a beautiful draft for them. They got everything that they wanted. It's like they didn't really care that much what Monster Shield was drafting. It's like we have our own thing, and this is what worked during the group stages, and we got everything we needed. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, they got the Lindis and the Liliana. So much damage going to be coming out of those, so keep an eye on those guys for sure. You know, the thing I do like about the other side, though, from Monster Shield is they got the Malik and the Mina together. But here we go. Game number 1 of the lower bracket final. Going to be Monster Shield going up against Resurgence. You see them coming down. Will we see the Classic invade? Probably.
Probably. Or, you know, Sherry this time is not going to be the support utility, going to be on the aggressive. So hopefully we're going to be seeing Sherry get those pulls in for the squad.
Yeah, very different choice here, right? We saw Sherry getting caught up when she was that Payna before.
Yes.
But this time around with the Mina, going to be a little bit tankier, harder to kill.
Yeah, I'm guessing a really aggressive either 2-man with your jungler or a very heavy 3-man with a Crixie. I mean, that is a lot of CCs on your side. And there's a lot of poke also on the side of Resurgence. So without that sustain in comparison to the Payna, they might struggle a little bit as long as the skill shots connect from Resurgence.
Yeah, whenever Resurgence starts off invading the jungle, they always clean out a couple more camps, right? So they take a little bit more early gold lead. But you can see the gold right now all tied up. See them kind of feeling each other out. This is going to be a best of 3 here in the lower bracket finals. So quite a lot of time to build up and figure out what you want to do against your opponents and their play styles.
Exactly. A lot of adjustments,
Ooh.
but every single time there's going to be a Valheim side lane, Resurgence immediately locks in that Ryoma, and I feel like that's really their solution, but just as we said, the poke is coming from Linky, but there's a fight.
Yeah, Aerith's in a little bit of trouble. You're kind of overextended deep into the jungle. You see MS turning on him. Big knock up there with the Ren, and that's going to be first blood. Manziao getting it over Aerith. Sherry going to have to back out here. Barely makes it away with the flicker. And now Daofeng chunking Zayze, and they're going on Zayze. That is the primary target. You got to get in to get Zayze as well. YR, the Valheim, getting the kill.
The punish is there for Monster Shield. We did mention that they are a heavy CC type of composition. YR with the flicker stun, just finishing off a couple of kills for his team. And my oh my, the desk mentioned about Ares, about his positioning, that it could be detrimental to sort of this trickling style from RSG. They fall and make a couple of mistakes, but look at that, AD actually being taken.
Yeah, Daofeng got to be careful, very low here after that Abyssal Dragon, able to escape though from the love. You see him catching that Ren on their way out, but not enough to matter, obviously. But right now, Monster Shield with a 3-0 lead to kick things off here in the game.
Yes, indeed, and because of that exchange in the jungle, whereas Ares was picked off and it trickled to the couple of members, it seems to me that it was a difficult time to actually try and contest this Abyssal Dragon. But this is a good trade from RSG. They are always the type of team that it's fine if we suffer some casualties, either bot or at top, as long as we're able to equalize the gold and properly transition to the mid game. But hold that thought, Sherry again.
Sherry, slightly overextended, but as we mentioned, Mina here is such a tanky champion. It's going to be very hard to just take her out. So that battle between Sherry and Ares in terms of who's going to badly position themselves is going to be kind of a critical factor as this game progresses. But right now, early game, not as much of a factor, I think.
Yeah, the thing is...
Uh-oh.
Oh?
As I mentioned, got a little bit scary there. But you can see Daofeng sitting there as well, and Sherry now caught, but look out, here comes the Moonfall, and Linky is extremely low, but beautiful Metamorphosis from Ares gets everyone stunned and helps to disengage.
Exactly. And the thing is about Monster Shield is that they have the ability to punish. Every CC is available. It's not like it's an ult CC in comparison to Ares, where he has to wait for such a long cooldown, but hold that thought,
Yeah,
though.
they got the timing, and oh my god, did Sherry get the kill? She gets the steal on the Might Golem. Very nicely done there. Sherry pulling through today.
Yes, sirree. It's a different Sherry. It's a Mina Sherry, not a Payna Sherry, not a Teamy Sherry. So looks like Monster Shield is doing better in comparison to before. Again, I like the dynamics of the Daofeng in the jungle. Half HP Sherry, she's gonna be fine. But yes, it seems to me with Monster Shield, with Daofeng in the jungle instead of YR, it feels like a stronger team when YR is in the jungle. So with RSG though, the gold lead still not that significant. But then again, Abyssal Dragon is on. So RSG, what are you going to trade? Are you going to contest this one this time around?
Yeah, that is going to be the question. As you see, we circling back to mid here. And you can see RSG, they're still keeping pressure on all the lanes. Sherry, she's done a good job defending, being that human ward in these brushes. But look, she's very low right now. And you can definitely see that RSG is trying to position themselves towards this Abyssal Dragon.
This might be a little bit tricky as Ares, once again, just decides to scout for the squad. Sherry's half HP already. This could be a potential punish for the side of Resurgence. But at the moment, you can see a lot of respect for both of these sides. Linky is one of the key targets here from Monster Shield, or Resurgence rather.
Yeah, most definitely. And right now, the Ryoma is doing very good up top. LCC against his YR Valheim. You can see he hasn't really given up. He's lost maybe half of that tower, but he's still holding on so far. And even actually, if I look down the bot lane, Resurgence bot tower also lost half of it as well. So right now, I think there's still a good fight. And you can see right now, they're setting up the dragon. And Sherry still with that low health, able to survive and still keep them disengaged from this dragon. But RSG potentially just trying to pull it out. Not make it easy for MS to go in on it afterward. But Ares, oh boy, he's getting caught. Beautiful bait from Daofeng, but the Aquatic Shield gets him out of there.
Vision is what they want, and Sherry, once again, the stun will connect, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But take note, this is what RSG intends to do. They want to keep poking to scare them away, retreat, and it is going to be enough to give them space at least. But never mind, look at that.
Yeah,
that's going to be a solo kill up top.
Yeah, not looking good right now for LCC as YR gets the kill and the tower. But here we go, 3-man going to circle in. Zay's going to be able to close it out, and there you go. They get a kill finally for Linky.
I suppose it's a great trade there.
I mean, tower for a kill, not bad.
Yeah, not bad, but if they lose this Abyssal Dragon, I'm not really sure if this is worth it, so they will give this up and most likely try to just shove the wave. I mean, the cannon, the siege minions rather, are already marching down up top, but half HP on this AD Love is providing vision for his team.
He's going to come in and try to get the kill, but does not get the steal. And Daofeng able to close it out. So another Abyssal Dragon in favor of MS here.
Chip damage, Mia, half HP already.
Yeah, gotta be
members
careful.
nearby.
Yeah, Eris is coming around, maybe considering, but instead wandering back. Sherry finds Eris on the way back down the river.
Good job by Mia using the shock, waiting for that CC just so that you wouldn't get interrupted. Sherry at the moment, I mean, you can tell how Monster Sheild is playing this very well. And the thing is, RSG is fine with that, except topside wasn't intended. They didn't expect that YR would give them such a huge headache. So RSG is now split into a decision whether or not to invest resources to help LCC2 so that he can transition well to the late game. But now Eris.
Yeah, Eris is coming in there, but Daofeng is along there with YR and Sherry to keep that additional pressure on that top side. Zay is now circling back to the top side as well to provide additional cover for that top lane, which has been in trouble since the beginning of this game.
Spirit Sentinel. No trade of objectives whatsoever from the side of Resurgence, but in terms of farm, they're still trying to keep it equal. At the moment, we see that Kresh is trying to block his escape path.
Yeah, unable to do so, and Sherry maybe recognizing this, also following along to help protect YR there. And right now, man, Archie's just trying to find a pick. They're circling left and right on the map, but oh my god, Mantow extremely low, use the Moonfall to survive though. It increases her move speed, so helps Quixie get out of there.
RSG trying to find opportunities, trying to find all these kills. But Monster Shield knows that RSG is a very aggressive team early game, just trying to form this 3-man, 4-man death squad. And that's the reason why they've been playing safe. They've been always playing the objective game and just leaving YR to do his job, to keep the Ryoma LCC2 on a tight leash. As long as Quixie, or rather the mid lane river
Mina's going in, she gets the Dark Dominion. Here comes Mantow with the Moonfall right behind him. Daofeng gets the kill on Zaze. This is beautiful for Monster Shield now. Metamorphosis is out there for Eris, but he's not really in position to stop him. I mean, he's very tanky. They're not going to be able to take him out. YR and MS doing a great job of chunking him down and getting another couple kills.
Man, oh man, Monster Shield's reading RSG like a book.
Oh boy, yeah, rotating down the bot lane. That bot lane tower is extremely low. Scare off, love for everyone, and they should be able to close out the tower with the tanking there, cycling it between Mia and Daofeng, and there you go, another tower in favor of MS.
This is incredible coming from Monster Shield, and looks like they respect them a lot with that flicker. They're afraid of that pull from the Mina and as well as the taunt. But here comes the chase. Is it going to work though, Rip?
Yeah, does Mia have the shock? He does, and he's out of there. Beautiful stuff. Daofeng in the brush as well, just to stop and help disengage. And look at this, RSG unable to secure another kill.
RSG must be frustrated not finding what they want, and Monster Shield just keep taking objectives left and right, especially top right now. LCC2, no space, no Metamorphosis just yet for Eris. So just waiting for those stacks. And Sherry, almost half HP.
Yeah, she's like constantly at half HP, right? So she's having a good game. She hasn't gotten killed a lot. And here we go, Love in a bit of trouble there, using that call ultimate to escape. Daofeng considered chasing after, but thought better of it. Just take some of the jungle instead.
0 towers for RSG. Monster Shield already down. With 2 chip damage already at top, it just means that the flow is continuing. Sherry will bump into the enemy support, Eris.
Yeah, and look how she's going to walk into that trap, and big chunk of damage there. Mia, though, rotating up. They were considering doing that Abyssal Dragon, but instead teaming up, recognized there might be a team fight challenge in mid. And look at the beautiful Wailing Blade there from LCC. Tons of damage on Mantow. Got to be careful with that Quixie. Not a really good escape tool there.
Look how safe they're playing. Montu not leaving the tower because they know Linky is just so painful with these pokes, and the potential flank from LCC2 could be her death or his death. But right now, MS, Monster Shield, playing really well against RSG.
Yeah, despite being ahead here, despite being ahead, Monster Shield is playing kind of like they're from behind you. They have to play so passive because so much damage is still coming out of RSG's side. You can see, despite the 5-1 kill lead, the goal lead is only 1,000 at this point, even though they also have 2 Abyssal Dragons over them.
Exactly. RSG doing a good job just keeping up with the gold, even though they're losing towers. But it will bite them in the back later on during the 5-man roams. And when it's an Enraged Abyssal Dragon, they will have a difficult time contesting these objectives as more control is piling up on the side of Monster Shield.
Oh my goodness, the damage coming out there on Montao. But man, he's got to be careful. He's playing very, very well with the Crixie though. And here we go, Eris going in deep. You can see Sherry kind of commit there, gets the Dark Command and tons of damage. Here comes the Moonfall behind it. There's a Metamorphosis as well to push him off. Montao in a bit of trouble, able to flicker out though. Oh my gosh, that was so scary for just a moment, but both teams survived.
Wow, look at the respect coming from both sides. No one died, they decide, never mind. It is time to retreat and fight another day. And you see how, hold that thought, LCC2?
LCC2 in bit of trouble. YR is there behind Daofeng coming in to close it out, and that should be the kill. And now they're going to try to turn on Eris. Can they get this kill as well? Make it a double, make it so. Double kill for Daofeng and that butterfly.
Trickling and trickling is what RSG is doing right now, and it seems to me Resurgence wanted to do the great bait mate tactic, whereas LCC2 or perhaps catch the Valheim off guard and make him chase him around, but it didn't work out in their favor because they didn't have enough damage for the punish, and I feel like they don't have enough insta or reliable CC Zaze,
Oh my god, yeah, they're focusing Zaze, which is exactly what they need to do, and again, YR gets Zaze down, Linky gonna fall as well. Oh my goodness, YR solo but surviving, and it's turning into a bloodbath, indeed. That butterfly is just killing them right now.
It is a bloodbath indeed, Rip. Look at that. Love cannot do anything. Everybody is dead on their side, and the rotations from Monster Shield can be a little bit overwhelming for RSG at the moment.
They're just going to go in right now on LCC. Eris still trying to defend. Does he have the Metamorphosis? I don't think it's going to matter. Again, Montao getting the kill this time. The shot comes out, and another one going to fall. And another tower for MS, and they're just pushing down this bot lane, going at the high ground tower. Now 4 bursts of the tower. It's going to go down really quick here. Here comes Love to try to defend it. Not going to be able to do so, though. And that's a high ground tower for MS.
Resurgence must be sweating right now. Look at that. They were trying to stop the bleed. They were keeping up with the farm. It's not over.
No, it's not at all. And there's the Dark Dominion. Love getting hooked in as well with that Death Sight. But Love, he's really been out of position a couple times here. And another tower taken on the top side by YR. And man, MS running away with the game now. 11-1 kill lead, 6,000 gold lead. 2 Abyssal Dragons, 7 towers. They are dominating game 1 right now.
Exactly. Just when they think that, Monster Shield has been playing quite half and half, sometimes passive, sometimes aggressive, but now it seems to me that they've reached to a point that they're confident enough because their squad, the composition that they drafted is perfect for 4-mans and 5-mans.
Yeah, and really, Zaze has been shut down. Here we go, another team fight. Here comes Eris. He's pretty tanky, he's correct, but can he survive? Can the rest of the team circle back in time? The Ren coming out. Shock to chase down Eris. Will they go in? There's the Metamorphosis to try to disengage. Love now in a bit of trouble. And Love going in though, but he is getting chunked down here. I don't think he's going to be able to do any damage. You can see on the other side, Daofeng chasing him out. But Love's still alive here. They can't seem to shut him down. It's just Sherry and Montao trying to put out some damage. But Love able to walk away from this fight.
This is
look out for Zaze.
over.
Yeah, not over just yet. You see RSG, they're going to fight. They're going to try their hardest to defend. They only lost 1 high ground tower so far. So they're still in this game despite being incredibly far behind here at the 14-minute mark.
Resurgence, during the draft, they really thought about what could be the potential threat against the Lindis, against Linky on this Liliana. And that's the reason why they banned out the Jinna. That's the reason why they banned out so many mages that could potentially be threats to the backline. But Crixie doesn't have to dive in and risk her own position. Crixie is one of those long-range mage, and Lindis, considering Lindis and as well as the Liliana, really reach the ultimate range of that Crixie. So Monster Shield really taking everything into account, and right now they're being rewarded for it. The gold lead is just very significant, and it's very advantageous already for the side of Monster Shield. And right now, it's defense mode for RSG.
Oh yeah, they've got to play a ton of defense here. The Enraged Abyssal Dragon buffs already on the side of Monster Shield. You can see them regrouping, keeping the pressure on all of the lanes. After a little bit of time, if they can't get a team fight, they're probably going to circle back and get that Slayer.
For sure, if they want to play it safe, but having a Butterfly, Crixie Malik, everything right now, it seems to me that they're in a comfy spot. Again, the punish potential coming from RSG side may not be in their favor, so they're going to be relying on the poke, but take note, what counters poke if you dive right in, not give them the chance to poke, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for, there's a little death sight there, but it doesn't get much off it. The stun's coming out on top of Love, but Love, very tanky as well, able to just walk away from that without a whole lot of damage. But still, the pressure coming in from all sides right now. Mia with that cleave, clearing the wave quicker, keeping this pressure so they can get more damage to the high ground tower. The thing is, they haven't even been able to poke at that high ground tower, right? There's been such good defense from RSG.
Exactly. Very good wave clear coming from the side of RSG, especially with the Liliana here coming on Linky. A very key pick just to get that defense, slow the pace down, and just be patient and wait for them. And wait for them to actually initiate first. And that's the reason why Monster Sheild is very, they're playing safe because they don't want to lose their lead. They don't want to risk too much. Yeah, and immediately there, we have a pause. You see the headphones come off, maybe an audio issue. Not sure what the issue could be, but clearly right away you saw her take the headphones off there. So some kind of technical issue, but right now Monster Sheild just dominating this game, up 11-1, and just their picks have just been working so well. Sherry has looked so impressive in this game. Yeah, it's a completely different Sherry this time around, and with that said, the four-man, I feel like Monster Sheild, what they did is that they were just waiting for the right time for, the grouping phase where everybody is going to be together, 4-man, 5-man, and it was perfect. That's the strength of their draft. And meanwhile, Resurgence just couldn't take advantage of their own because they respected the Mina, and then there were a couple of early kills, and that's the reason why they just tried to settle with their jungle to get a source of income instead of Monster Shield's deaths. Oh yeah, I mean, it's been a rough game for Resurgence for sure. I mean, Zay's has been completely shut down here. It's just unbelievable. So shout outs to MS. They are playing fantastic right now. The game is back on, as you guys can see. And the waves now have finally pushed out a bit. So Resurgence defense really holding up here. And it's going to be up to MS to kind of maybe, I think, get a team fight outside of the base so they can get a push onto those high ground towers. Exactly. And Resurgence has been surviving these long fights. They've been through 20-minute games perhaps already. Monster Sheild being the type of team that really also likes to play slow and just make sure that they can finally shut them down. So they'll be a little bit patient, probably increase the gold gap even more. So when they finally attack, it's going to be a wipe. It's going to be A-OK. They can finish down the core. Yeah, they just hope to not get picked here. You can see maybe considering, like, we should wait in this bush. See if they want to come on out here to explore this jungle a little bit. But now instead, they get a little stun here, and LCC is going to have to retreat. Sherry is in there as well. But instead, you see they're playing so safe. And finally, they get a little poke on the high ground tower. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They got to get a little bit of poke at a time. Look at the quick rotation to the top here. They're trying to get more damage on the high ground tower. You can see the mischief coming out. There's the shot. They're going to have a big engager. Zay's in big trouble. Zay's is in the front line. That is not where you want to be. Metamorphosis comes out from Ares as well to disengage. Linky barely surviving with that flicker. And oh my god, the damage. And finally, Montel takes out Zay's. Montel got the back at the Rioma. Almost choked him out. Look at him. Just barely survived. LCC going to fall as well. And this looks like game one going to go for Monster Sheild with the full team wipe. Patience is a virtue for Monster Sheild, and they are rewarded. Take a look at that. 116 on the kill scoreboard, and they win game number one. Look at their faces. They're very happy, Rip. Yeah, very happy. Deservedly so. That was an impressive Monster Sheild. This is the Monster Sheild that we saw on day one against Flipside Tactics, right? This is not the Monster Sheild we saw on day two. They're chilling right now. They're all smiles, and well, understandable. That was a very convincing win. They were patient. They didn't need to be aggressive. They didn't need to play the pace that Resurgence was playing. And I felt like that topside matchup between LCC2 and as well as that Valheim up top really did a whole lot in terms of giving space for Monster Sheild to move around the map. Yeah, not to mention also that very first team fight where they got that 3-0 kill lead that really jump-started that game for Monster Sheild, and they kind of just ran with it from there. You know, they kept the Abyssal Dragon control, they had the tower control, it was just dominant Monster Sheild fashion. Yeah, you can tell they had a lot of respect as well on towards Linky, as, you know, the Crixie just really didn't want to leave the tower. And at that point, you can tell that they knew what their win conditions were, and all they had to do is wait it out till they get to that grouping phase and probably try to shut down LCC2 earlier so that he cannot make impactful plays to turn the game around in the later phases. Right, so that about wraps up game number one. Let's send it on back to Renee at the analyst desk.
Thanks. Throwing your shields away, grabbing all the swords available, and getting game number one for Monster Sheild versus Resurgence. We call it, you guys are out.
Yeah, it's so impressive. I mean, the whole team just played so well. It's like they're like a different team today. The 4-man rotations, invading jungle, getting picks, killing Z's, Sherry playing this Mina so
Yeah.
well. I mean, the engages, the Dark Dominions, I mean, stealing the Might Golem. I was like, is that the same Sherry that we know?
Yeah,
But-
Sherry's a very aggressive Sherry this time. We've seen before she gets picked out a couple of times in the same game, and then now she's just being super, super aggressive, utilizing the flickers and initiating as well. And I felt like the first team fight where they won that kind of gave them the momentum.
Yeah, no, every time that flicker was available, that was pretty much the call from Monster Shield to always go for an engage. And oftentimes, Sherry would catch 2 to 3 members of Resurgence. And when you're just piling on CC into a shock and then a butterfly on top of it, looking to slash it on down, it's not going to go well for Resurgence.
Yeah, this is huge here. You see there, we talked about Ares getting caught out, and he gets first blood there. And look at this gank here, this beautiful 3-man collapse. YR being so aggressive. And like I said, if YR and Daofeng are on the same page, and Sherry's playing this well, those 3 just make it happen.
And one thing I would like to highlight, because you can see back on these replays, at about the 10-minute mark, Gold was really close to even for Resurgence, even though they were down 2 towers, 2 Abyssal Dragons, and then about 6 kills. One person you got to highlight is Zaze, because that Lindis, if you take a look during the match, the Gold graph actually, the Lindis was ahead of a 2-0-1 Butterfly by about 1,500 gold. That's impressive. That means you're farming up a Storm in the jungle. The only issue is all of Resurgence's gold was just on this Lindis, and unfortunately, Zane's going to get close to any of these fights.
Yeah, I want to point out as well, Ares' performance for this game itself, it's very disappointing. He's got caught out a lot as the crash, and his initiations were very questionable as well.
Yeah, it's very defensive initiations as well. He had to use it. Look at this stat here, KDA 14 and 21% damage. And who said Butterfly can't be an assassin you can play in the game here? And Mr. Daofeng just proved it here. Or should I call him Miss Daofeng?
Well, the big thing here was also being patient during a lot of these. Because a lot of these fights, especially when you're playing a Butterfly, you can't just jump into a full member team that's at full health. You're looking to pick off members. That's why we saw the engages coming in from the Malik and that Mina. So great positioning. And this now kind of begs the question, do you ban out the Butterfly against Monster Shield, or do you ban out the Mina?
I think Mina will probably be a better ban. I think that's what made the game. When they lost yesterday, Sherry honestly played very poorly. Today, completely different Sherry. I mean, they got the first 2 dragons. They got the first tower. I mean, YR just playing really, really well on that Valheim as well, sacrificing himself for a tower, which worked out really well for them.
It was 1-16 in the end in terms of kills. I would say that's a pretty strong statement for match number 1. Obviously, there will be more matches coming up because it is a best of 3 before we dive into the next banning phase and see if Butterfly might get stopped or it will be Mina gets banned. Let's have a look at Resurgence.